Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me a diamond in the rough. His name is Eddie Graham. He's a defensive back out of Tennessee State. Nice to have you on, sir.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
So, Eddie, you've actually had somewhat of a journey. So why don't you go ahead and tell that story if you don't mind? Tell me maybe where you're from and how you ultimately got there to Tennessee State.
Okay. Yeah. So I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. At the age of 3, I moved to Florida. I live in a small town called Hudson. Went to Hudson High School. Out of Hudson High School, I probably weighed about 145 pounds. From there, I went to North Carolina Wesleyan. I didn't play much as a freshman, because of the undersized, all that, had to, develop mentally and physically. So as my freshman year was going on, every day with double workouts, making sure I was eating the right stuff. My coaches were helping me learn the playbook, trying to prep me for the next season. So by the time I came in as a sophomore, I was dominating at every level. But as a freshman, I was still at practice against the ones on the scout team, whatever, getting 3 to 4 picks of practice, so they knew what type of player I was going to be. So that all just went to help as far as them going to put their eggs in this basket, So after my sophomore season, played one more year at Wesleyan, had another all conference, all American season. That last season I played at Wesleyan, I was also a kicker. I was 88% from the field, I think I want to say. Yeah. And then I've always been a kicker since high school, just last second, our kicker was struggling that season at the time. I was like, hey, I can kick. They never wanted to let me kick because they didn't want me to get hurt, this and that. So they did, and I came through. And of course, COVID hit. And then once that happened, I didn't know what to do. I had one more semester left to graduate. And so my coach was like, hey, we understand if you want to go somewhere else and finish out your career. And the thing was with me at the D3 level, there's no athletic scholarship. So you're either paying out of pocket and taking out loans, this and that. And so how that works is you can only, they're only going to give you loans for about up to 4 years of school. And so I had to make sure I had somewhere to go for this next upcoming season. So I was emailing a whole bunch of schools, this and that. Quindarian Spellman, the D-line coach at Wesleyan, he had a contact over in Lakeland, Florida at Southeastern with Tyrone Petaway. And so he said, hey, I got a guy, this and that, he's good. And at this time, I'm working at Publix, just waiting to see one of these coaches are going to hit me back up. If not, I don't know what I'm going to do, but the same goal is still intact. And so Tyrone Petaway hit me up. He was a DC there at Southeastern. And then from there, I was talking to Richard McNutt, who was the corners coach there. And I think it was like a Friday. He gave me a call. He said, hey, we want you to come check out the school. And I was like, yeah, I can definitely do that. And then I got another call 2 hours later of them saying, hey, it's going to be a tryout. So depending on how you do, where are they going to give you a scholarship or you're just going to be a walk-on? I was like, oh man, all right, cool. So I go there next day. It was like a one-on-one tryout with one of their top receivers. It's like McNutt goes, hey, if he beats you deep, you might as well take off your cleats and go home because we're not going to give you a scholarship. So first rep, it was a 10-yard end dig, and it was like a dive and pick. So I'm gonna take my cleats off. From there, we did the tour. Talked up with the coach, Cesar Rivas. He ended up giving me a scholarship for the year there. And the good thing about that season was, they ended up giving everyone a COVID year. So technically, it didn't count. I ended up breaking my ankle at the start of camp that year. So it was rough. I missed a game and a half because of it. Still was second team all conference. I think team only played a total of five or six games, so it
Yeah, I
wasn't.
mean, he didn't really play much, during that COVID year, anyways. Like I know a lot of NAIA teams did play something. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And so from there, basically, Richard McNutt, he was a corner coach there, left, had an opportunity at Tennessee State, took the position there. And so basically, since then, Corey Raymond and I from Southeastern followed him to here. And so then this past season went pretty good. I had some struggles with my hamstring though. Another injury in the fall camp. Yeah, it was a crazy one. So it was basically all I could do during the season was maybe practice a little bit on Thursday, do like the walkthrough, jog through on Friday. I ended up finishing the season with 2 interceptions and 35 tackles. And I want to say 8 or 9 pass breakups, but I only played 8 out of the 11 games as
yeah. I mean,
well.
that's fair. I mean, you figure, you come in and you're the transfer guy anyway. So I mean, being able to get any reps at all sometimes is like a feat in and of itself. So, going
Yeah.
out there and having some good snaps, couple interceptions. I mean, that's definitely a decent year for a guy who's a transfer, from an NAIA school. So, I mean, I think that you've had one hell of a journey. Obviously, again going from D3 NAIA to an HBCU. So it's definitely
Okay.
been crazy. Let's talk about you as a prospect, as a player. I mean, obviously you're a defensive back. You're again a kicker as well in a pinch also, but mainly you know
Right.
a defensive back. So describe to me what kind of defensive back you are. What do you feel separates you from the pack? I mean, where are you lined up and that sort of thing.
I feel like you can pretty much put me all over the field, whether it's boundary field. I'm not scared to go up against any type of receiver, whether it's a speedy guy or a big tall guy. I'm a bump and run guy who knows how to play the game. So a lot of it is knowing where my help is going to be, this and that, being able to communicate with linebackers, nickel, safety, helping those guys out on the field at the same time. It just makes the game simplified whenever I'm on the field and giving guys hints on what they need to do, this and that. So I feel like me as being able to bump and run at the size that I am, it speaks for itself because I do have good footwork, at the line.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, it was really when I saw your pro day numbers, when I really thought to myself, you know what, this guy's going to be a pretty decent nickel. And I don't necessarily want to pigeonhole you into that, but the way that I see it, and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, if you want to say something else, I mean that's fine. But your pro day numbers really, to me, suggested that you would do great as a nickel because you get a guy who pounds out 21 reps at 185, which that's a fantastic number, really for a linebacker, let
Oh yeah.
alone a guy your size. And so usually for a guy who's able to do that, it shows obviously a lot of strength and toughness and durability to play with anybody there in that block. That's kind of how I see you as somebody who can get in someone's face and really do well. I mean, do you see yourself as such or no? How do you see yourself projecting?
So it's kind of funny you say that. I've always wanted to play the nickel. Everyone tells me, yo, Eddie, like you go to the league, you're gonna play nickel. It's always something I've wanted to play. I do have some experience at it at every school I've been at, from other injuries, but for the most part, I wasn't able to play it because it's you're the fastest guy on the field as far as defensive back, so we have to have you on the field covering this guy such and such. So, but I mean, I do love helping out in the run game. I do love to get up in that box and make some plays. That's for sure.
Gotcha. And we already highlighted some of your special teams experience. Do you have any other experience there on special teams rather than kicking that ball?
Uh, the best part about me being a kicker is at my D3 school, I would literally kick the ball off on kickoff and go down there and make the tackle. And we played Stetson University, which is a D1 AA school. And I was doing the same thing against them, kicking the ball down there, going down, making the tackle. Punt return, I can return kicks if need be. I didn't get much action. The coaches, they never want to let me do it. Being one of the best players on defense, so it's pretty tough for me to play a lot of special teams. But yeah, I definitely do like playing special teams.
So there's a part of me that feels like you're a bit of a Swiss Army knife, so to speak, when we're looking at you as defensive back, somebody there in the secondary, and also somebody that can, contribute on special teams. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see like how teams do view you. Um, but obviously, they were able to see you perform out there at your pro day. How do you feel like that went overall?
Oh, I thought it went pretty good. The only thing that I would say got to me a little bit is the whole training process. You get certain numbers, and then you go on a pro day, and it's either you're doing better here, maybe a little worse here. So numbers varied, and I thought I did a little better on my 40 than what they marked. And what I heard when I was out there, but I know it kind of goes as a range when you have multiple scouts at a combine. So I mean, some I know clocked me at a 4.53, 4.51, and the rest it just ranges from there. So, but I thought I did pretty good on my broad. I couldn't stick my 10.3. So that's one thing that really got to me. I was like, that would have really stuck out as well. But yeah, I thought it went really well, especially with the position drills too.
Yeah, I mean, I think you did a fairly decent job. I mean, hopefully you really caught some eyes of some scouts there. So I want to talk to you really about like I don't know. Again, you've had one heck of a journey, and I know again you've been at a few different schools. What would you say has been some of the highlights of your career? I mean, obviously 2019 was an excellent year for you. I mean, you come out of that year with I think 15 like pass deflections or something of that matter, and really just had an excellent year, which propelled you to continue your journey elsewhere. But what do you feel is like your most memorable moment or highlight or game?
I would say beginning of my sophomore season, which I want to say I had 6 interceptions that season, and all I got that season was all the first team all conference. I never got any All American accolade from that season, which, you know, maybe politics, maybe not. But my favorite moment ever would be against Maryville College, third game of the season, first conference game. We're in the fourth quarter, and they're on the goal line. They're about to score. We're only up by 3 or 4 points at this time. They throw a slant. He runs into my nickel, and he kind of rubbed him a little bit, so he couldn't come up to make the catch on the ball. I catch it, 99-yard pick six. Since then it's been pretty much been a pig magnet. Since then, I like to say. So if I don't
Well,
find the ball finds me.
well, hey, I mean, I get it. I mean, obviously, a guy who has a nose for the ball. I mean, uh,
Yeah.
so one other question, just kind of want to ask you. I mean, obviously, growing up, I mean, we're fans of this game. I mean, who was like that one guy that you were a fan of, or maybe a fan of now, or maybe a player in the league that you aspire to be?
Tyrann Mather. I love the way he plays. Me and my friends, whenever we're talking about, I say he's the luckiest player in the world. He can pretty much go out there, do whatever he wants, maybe blow coverage and still come up with a fumble recovery. So his college tape is one of my favorite, and so I look up to that guy a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
I kind of had a feeling that you were going to say that. I mean, even before
And
I was
our
going
message
to ask that
board,
question. I
yeah,
mean, he's one of the, I guess, more popular guys, anyways, at his position. So, and again, kind of talked about how maybe perhaps you might be taking over a role that might be similar to his on the field. Whether it be nickel, safety, slot corner, however you want to define that. So, I do think that is where you may ultimately end up. But a couple other questions for you. Obviously, playing for a few different schools, had a lot of coaches that have influenced you over the years. Is there maybe one lesson from one of those coaches that still sticks to you today, like either from a head coach or a position coach?
um, Yeah, Richard McNutt, he says this all the time. He says, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything, and that's since I met him since day one, he said that. And it's always stuck in my head. So
So if you don't stand for anything, you're what is it again?
if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for nothing.
Okay, there you go. That works. So,
Yeah.
cool. So let's talk about some things around football, man. I just kind of want to get to know who this Eddie Graham guy is. So, tell me a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind. Hobbies, interests, or anything that you got, man. Hit me with it.
Yeah, I'm a big water guy, so I love the jet ski. Jet skiing is my thing. I bought one as soon as COVID hit, 'cause I live right on the water. So yeah, I love the jet ski. Video games are my thing for sure. Call of Duty, Battlefield. Working out, hanging out with friends, having a good time. So
Gotcha, gotcha. You have any pet peeves?
pet peeves. I would say I don't know. It really takes a lot to really get on my nerves. I'd say
Uh,
I'm a pretty calm guy, relaxed guy.
all right, all right, all right. What is your most prized possession?
Most prized possession. Most prized possession.
I'm throwing out some new questions here. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, hey, I would probably say it's a good one. I do have a
tough.
PS5, but
Your PS5. Okay, okay. Well, that's fine. We could circle back to it. Favorite movie?
favorite movie, The Notebook. Believe it or not,
Okay. um, TV show?
TV show. Either Dexter or Breaking Bad for sure.
All right. Dream car.
Dream car. Toyota Tacoma. I already drive it, so
Hey man, it's nice to be driving what you want to drive. So I mean, no, nothing wrong with that for sure. So, anything else here? Let's see. Uh, what was the most difficult class that you had in school?
biology.
Biology. Okay, okay. Interesting. What did you finally get your major in? Are you studying, to get your master's right now?
Yeah, I got my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I'm doing my major in criminal justice as well.
Nice, nice. Well, at least you have that under your belt. I mean, whenever you finish up your master's there, so that'll be nice. Eddie, let's kind of wrap things up if you don't mind. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that there are some scouts that might want to know who you are and hopefully have taken the time to watch this video. But I want you to give them your pitch as to why they need to take a chance on you. Maybe sign you and bring you into their franchise, and what kind of teammate you would be. So go ahead and hit them with your pitch.
Yes, sir. Being that I am obviously Eddie Graham, I would say not only can I play fast, I can play big at the same time. I really do feel like if a team were to ever pick me up, they would see that um, it might be a little strange because when you see me in person, I look bigger than how I might look on the screen right here. So like my 185 probably looks like I'm 205, and so people like to say, but it's the fact that going through Division 3 NAIA to D1, you have to really understand the game, and being in three different type of systems with three different defensive coordinators. I feel like out of all the schools I've been at, I've learned a lot of football and met a lot of great coaches along the way to where I've added value each and every year. Just kept going, and I can I can be a versatile player. Like you can put me at the safety and tell me to do this, or put me at the nickel, tell me to do this. I can, like I said, play big, play fast, um, be a menace out there if need be. And the key thing with me is the mental game of it all as well. I'm there every
Yeah,
single bit of
there's a part of me that feels like you play bigger than you actually are.
it.
Definitely a tough guy who's kind of been through the grind a little bit. I mean, you've had this arduous journey at getting to where you are, and I know that we're at the point now where scouts are beginning to notice. And hopefully they'll give you that opportunity. Again, I kind of see you as a guy who would be an excellent nickel prospect. So somebody that somebody they could more or less just kind of plug and play. So, and then of course, your special teams experience. I mean, I don't want to knock it too much, but I mean, you having experience out there, really also really sets you apart because I mean, it's a third of the game, and you need to understand that. You need to understand things like field possession and where you need to be on the field and your lanes and all that stuff. And all those things are important. And obviously you have a lot of experience being out there, and that's likely where you're going to end up. First go round, and I just think that your experience at that level really, is better than a lot of guys out there, in my opinion. Just being the leader out there at that given moment. So, Eddie, do wish you best of luck in this whole process. All right, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Once again, Eddie Graham, defensive back, Tennessee State. Definitely check him out.
All right.